want to make the tariffs make a little more sense in the real scheme of things. So let's look at an example. Let's say we're manufacturing and we have costs that are materials, we have labor, we have overhead, and then we have profit, and all that should add up to what the cost is, let's say on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, put everything together, it's going to be $1,581. And let's make this a little more valuable by just speaking of this in percents. So this amount would be 94%, about 50%. Labor would be close to 12%. Overhead would be about 18%, and profit will be 20. And that's 100% of the price that it's selling at. So if you look at it, this is the numbers. If something costs $100, about $50 of it was materials. Close to $12 was labor. $18 of that is overhead, and $20 is profit. So this is called a material multiplier. So we'll be able to multiply the material using this. So we'll keep this the same. This is the current cost with no multiplication. The multiplier is 1. So material is going to stay at $786. So let's the ideal they say if the material costs double, then we'll be paying twice as much. So the ideal is that if the material costs double, instead of costing us $100 to the consumer, it'll cost $200. Well, let's use the multiplier and double that. So I'll put 2, and now the material is over $1,500. Well, you notice that consumer cost only goes to $180 instead of the $200. See, it used to be $100, but now we're paying $180, even though the material cost doubled. Why is that? Well, that's simply because there's other costs associated that don't move, even though the materials move. The labor is still the same, the overhead is still the same, the profit is still the same. And so we don't get a doubling. But this is what's proposed. Let me show you what actually happens. So we'll put the multiplier back to 1 here so we can count. No, in fact, let's keep it at 2 just to see what happens. Okay, the material is actually made from several things. So let's say our material was made from China steel. We had to import silver plates from India. South America gave us our magnets. Mexico gave us an epoxy that we needed. And we got the rest of the materials from Utah. So we're saying about 90% of our materials are coming from overseas. And let's just say we're just paying one company in America to get the rest of our materials. So we're saying that $786 comes from paying China $235, India $235, South America $157, Mexico $78, and close to $79, and Utah $79 every single day. So that's $786 that we are going to have in materials. Okay, so and this is all the before, and we're going to make some changes. So we're going to increase the China now. We're going to double the materials of just the China instead of all the materials. So if China, we'll use a multiplier of 2 for China. So if we move China up to twice, and so China, instead of we're paying $235, we're now paying over $270 now to China, which makes our material cost $1,000, which is now over here. We see that we'll have to charge $124. Now before, when all our materials went up, doubled, we had to pay $180. But if just the price of China doubles, we'll pay $124. So again, the doubling of China does not double what we pay. Now let's just take a quick look at some other ideas. Let's just say things went up by 50%. For things to go up 50%, but all the materials, I'll change the multiplier to 1.5. So things going up by 50% means that the material now is like close to $1,200. And so we'll go from paying $100 to $140, even though it went up 50%. Now, if the actual cost, let's say China was at 150. Let's use that multiplier on China. Our things would go up to $112 that used to cost $100. So this helps you understand that just because the tariffs might double things, it doesn't double everything in the cost that we pay. Just one piece, and it would not result in us paying twice as much for the item.